instructions here from me. Benedict will unveil the plaque, so you'll have a sneak preview early on. And then we're going to go around the hall, around the corner to the hall, to Basil Jellicoe Hall, which Origin have brilliantly and kindly provided for us today. And all the wonderful people who are here to speak will do their speeches inside. So we'll just do a quick introduction out here, unveiling of the plaque, and we'll do some special photographs with neighbourhood and resident members. So please stay by for those photographs, and then we'll go inside. So I'm just going to do a quick introduction here. Really just to say that plaques, as we're about to see more of in a moment, are really inspiring features of our London streets. And the scheme was founded over 150 years ago, thought to be the oldest in the world, and it's been managed by English Heritage from 1986. We now have 1,000 plaques on the streets of London, and soon we will see together the 1,006th. And these wonderful, fascinating markers really connect people and place. They're found across Greater London in a range of neighbourhoods, and as of today, there will be one in Somers Town. We have celebrated through the scheme Nobel Prize winners, sporting greats, writers, scientists, stars of the stage and the screen, architects and designers, but today, of course, we are revealing a plaque to the first woman chartered surveyor, which is a really important moment. Now, the association of a person and the building on which the plaque goes is really important to the scheme, and particularly the case here. We know that Irene Barclay worked in her office in this building for 8 years, and brilliant research that researchers do at English Heritage showed that this is the only London address that survives for Irene Barclay. All of her offices from 1924 to 1964 have gone, so it's really poignant that we are in this place with this woman and this plaque. I've long had an association with this area, and I'm thrilled that the historically rich neighbourhood of Somers Town is being commemorated. This is a really caring and progressive place in London. We know it's filled with pioneering social housing, including the wonderful Washing Post finials and the brilliant listed houses nearby. We know that there's the great architectural landmark of the Commissioners' Church, St Mary's, Somers Town, from where Basil Jellicoe did, with others, so much important outreach. And of course this road, Polygon Road, is named for its association with the building, the extraordinary polygonal building in which Mary Wollstonecraft and William Godwin lived and wrote. And so the street takes its name from that building, and there is a local plaque there too. So that connection of people in place is extraordinarily redolent in this particular spot. And it's worth saying that, of course, as we think more broadly these days about how people have shaped our environment and all the different people that have been involved in that process, from designers to builders to decorators, it's really important and poignant to recognise a pioneering woman who helped shape this place and many places beyond, as well as the lives of the people who are living here through buildings. So for a scheme that's all about the connection of people and buildings, this is a really apposite commemoration for Irene Barclay. So I'm really delighted that you're all here today, particularly that there are so many members of her family with us today. And we are going to, in a moment, meet one of them, who's going to do the great unveiling. And as I say, after that, we will... Oh, this seems to be stopping raining now. But we've gone with plan B, so I guess we'll stick with it. So there's going to be 5 brilliant speeches, lovely short talks from wonderful people who have a connection to Irene Barclay. So please come with us after the grand unveiling around the corner and hear their great words. So it's now my pleasure to introduce Benedict Barclay, goes by Ben. He is Irene's youngest grandson. Ben spent many weekends at Irene's house in Sheer before she moved to Canada when he was around 10 years old. And for almost 20 years, he's lived in Granada in Spain, where he works as a translator and a textbook author and publisher. And we're extremely lucky to have a grand gathering of the Barclay family here today. It's lovely to see so many of you. Douglas Barclay, a grandson who planned to travel from Canada, has sadly had to send his apologies. But Benedict will speak on behalf of the family, and then we'll do the great honours of unveiling the plaque for us. So at that point, of course, cameras at the ready. And I'd like to hand over now to Benedict.
Hi everyone. So, as you've heard, I'm her youngest grandson. She had 2 sons who, between them, had produced 6 boys before I came along. And she didn't hide the fact that she would have liked me to break that run, but it wasn't to be. However, she did have great-granddaughters, including one who was born just before she died and is here today, and 2 younger ones, so it wasn't just boys in the family. My uncle Tony emigrated to Canada, and unfortunately his side of the family isn't represented here today. Douglas wanted to come, but doctor's orders prevented him from flying. I'd like to share an anecdote that he wanted to tell if he had been here. In 1964, they came back from Canada and spent a year living with Irene in London. He was around 3 years old at the time, and she used to take him to work sometimes with her. I don't know whether that would have been here in 1964 or 65, or whether it would have been somewhere else. But anyway, she took him here, and when she had to go out from work, she would leave him with one of the tenants, and he thought that exemplified the trust there was between Mrs. B and the tenants, and also obviously that she was a proud grandmum who liked taking her grandson to work with her. For my own part, I remember playing Yahtzee with her in her old and rather gloomy house in Sheer, Tudor house, and she was obviously a kind and caring grandmother, but in some ways quite a serious lady. By then she was 80, 85, so she was getting on a bit as well. But there was always, the house itself was dark and had sort of dark furniture, but there was always a colourful picture on an easel. She loved painting, she had a beautiful garden, and she loved her flowers. And that's something I wanted to talk a little bit more about briefly, which is that today is all about her work and what she did as a surveyor and the important things she did. But she also had a creative side, and I was looking back and she sent me birthday cards, and she always had a little picture that she drew on them of something that was in front of her, something she was doing, something that was around her. And there's a funny one where she was in hospital. I think she might have broken her hip, had a fall, something like that. And so she did a little picture of herself with her leg up in hospital.